from here again we can write a service and send it to the backend API. Okay, now let's look at it. So let's see how we can submit this data to the backend API. Okay, now I need, so since I got the user and username and password here, so what I'll do is I need a service, ng generate service, login service I'm creating. Let me close this, and I got this login service. Now within this, the first thing that I need to include is inject is private HTTP. I need HTTP client. Okay, now I got the HTTP client, but to use this HTTP features we need to include HTTP module, HTTP client module. Okay, this one, without that we cannot use the features, and also to use Angular forms we need these two modules to be imported. Okay, and now within this, so I'll add submit login form and I'll pass a user. Okay, and here, so we have user that is passed, and we need to write it as observable of the user, which is user, and within this let's import the observable. Here return this dot http dot post, we need to post this record, and it is of a user object, and within here the URL. Okay, post URL, actually here what we can say is URL equal to www dot okay, maybe you can consider this is like a backend API URL. I'm just adding a random value, random one. Okay, this is how it will be, the URL and the user object that you wanted to post, and if there are any HTTP options. For now, since we are not passing anything else, this is just a test example how we post it. Okay, when we connect the backend and post it, we'll add all the detailed all the required details. So for now this is how we can post, and once this is the service, so once we have this data here, within here we need to inject the service to the constructor. Let's add a constructor and a private user service this is login service. Okay, now we injected login service, so it is available to this class, and we can say service dot submit login form, and we need to pass the user here, and we have to subscribe to it, and whatever the response that we get from this, okay, you can get hold of the response. can just simply pass the user, no need to mention the type, this dot, okay. And once we get the response, we can assign this response and print that on the UI. Okay, the response should be response equal to response. Format it. You can say any, so that we can assign it. So if you see, we have a form with a username and password. Once we click submit, what we are doing right now, since this API is not there, so that's why it is throwing error, okay. But we are passing this username and password to the backend service. So once we submit, input type submit, this submit function is going to be called, and once we come here, we take that user, okay. Since this is following two-way data binding, this user will be automatically updated with whatever the values that we are typing here, okay. So if I call this dot user, I'll get the values. So I'm calling, I created a service and added a method. I'm passing this user here, and here I'm posting this data to the backend API, which is this one. So this is not a real URL. So when we connect the backend, you will be able to easily understand how we are going to post this data, okay. So this is about Angular template based form, and in the next video let's discuss about the Angular reactive forms.